What's up everybody, Scott Nascenta here, AW4U, the Real Estate Group, and today we are going to talk about one of the biggest factors that affects people's wealth long term. We are going to be discussing inflation, a often misunderstood term in the investment industry. Let's get into it. So, what is inflation? It's pretty simple. It's basically the cost of goods and services rising over time. Inflation is natural, it's necessary for a healthy economy. The government, for instance, typically targets about 2% inflation a year. That basically means that a decade from now, you can anticipate the cost of your goods and services being at least 20% higher than they are today. So inflation can be a double-edged sword. It can work for you or against you. For most of the middle class working people, inflation absolutely burns you because you just can't seem to outpace inflation. That's why most of the middle class can never get ahead in terms of savings, and they can never become financially free by working. Inflation continues to eat up your buying power. Wealthy people and rich people that understand money know how to use inflation to their advantage. They typically own assets that appreciate with inflation. And if you think, because real estate is a leveraged asset, which means you get typically 5-to-1 leverage on your money, if inflation is 2%, you're actually gaining 10% annually on your money. Again, that 5-to-1 leverage is super powerful. So I remember when I was working at my old government job, when I got a raise over 3 years of, let's call it $10,000, I used to think that I was absolutely killing it and that I was getting way ahead of the game. But after that raise, I always found myself in the same position I was even before the raise. That's because I didn't understand inflation. Yes, I got a raise, but I was basically just keeping up with the decreasing buying power that inflation was causing. So I want the middle class people to understand this. If you want to get ahead, if you want to become financially free and have assets to pass on to your kids or the next generation, you need to own assets that outpace inflation. Real estate is one of them. Starting a business is another one. You've got to do things and think outside the box. Your job isn't going to do it. Typically, your raises are only to keep up with the cost of living that rise over time. So I hope this helps you guys understand inflation. Again, I didn't understand it for a long time, but once I started to actually get a grasp of it, I understood what I needed to do to outpace it. Real estate ownership is one of the best ways. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you on the next one.